Okay, good morning. Do you have any questions before we start?
كل سنة وأنت سالم دكتور.
انت سالم الله يبارك فيكي. Face once. This is our lesson today, face once. Now, a person's expectations that their public self-image will be respected. Now, when we say face once, we talk about the things that a person wants to have. Now, every human being, every individual, every interact and so speaker would like that his public self-image is respected by others or is attended to by others. كل واحد فينا بيحب إنه that his face ones are realized by others, are recognized by others. Now, if a speaker says something that represents a threat to another individual's expectations regarding self-image, it's described as a face-threatening act. Now, if a speaker says something that is this that is not comfortable to the other person or that goes against his expectations, with regard to self-image, then the speaker is using a face-threatening act. In other words, you may expect the others to or not to request let me say expensive things from you, but if the other speaker uh, requests expensive things from you, he or she is performing a face-threatening act. He is actually doing a face-threatening act, that is, he is using something that is not comfortable to you. When someone says an utterance that avoids a potential threat to a person's face, it's called face-saving act. Now, if but if you say something that pleases the addressee or that goes in line with the addressee's expectations, then you are using a face-saving act. Now we have examples in the slides. I am going to tell him to stop that awful noise right now. Now this one is a face-threatening act because in this utterance, the speaker is acting against the expectations of the addressee with regard to face once. In other words, the addressee expects you to say things that are good for him, but when you say awful noise or when you say stop the awful noise, the speaker is using a face-threatening act. Let's compare this face-threatening act with the face-saving act below it. Perhaps you could just ask him if he is going to stop because it's getting late and we need to sleep. Now, in this example, the speaker is acting in accordance with the expectations of the addressee. In other words, the addressee expects the speaker to say things that are comfortable and that are good for him in relation to face once, and then he is using what a face saving act. There are many examples of face threatening acts and face saving acts. I think we talked about these or for examples of these acts, but let's have more examples of face threatening acts and more examples of face saving acts. Now, let me begin by giving you face threatening acts. When you say to the adversary, uh, I don't like what you say. So suppose that you say to another person, to one of your acquaintances or to one of your colleagues, I hate what you say. What you say is not good. Now, in this example, you are using a face threatening act because your utterance goes against the expectations of the addressee. The addressee was expecting you to say something good about his speech, about his contributions, but when you say to him, I hate what you say, you are actually performing a face threatening act. Now, when you say to the addressee again, uh, I want you to lend me your car. I want you to lend me your car. This is a face threatening act. Why? Because in this speech act, you are imposing on the addressee and you are asking him to give you something that is expensive. Therefore, this is a face threatening act. Now, when you say to the addressee, uh, let me say, when you say to the addressee, I will, uh, I will give you a beating if you, I'll give you a beating if you do not give me money. Now, in this example, you are performing a speech act a face threatening act. Why? Because you are threatening the addressee or you are using a threat uh, which causes face threat to the addressee. Now, when you say to another person, uh, I hate your haircut. So this is an ugly haircut. I hate it. This is a face threatening act because instead of attending to the addressee's face need of being accepted, you are actually using something that annoys the addressee or that causes embarrassment to the addressee. So all of these are face threatening acts. Now, what about face saving acts? There are many examples of face saving acts. When you say to the addressee, I like your haircut, this is a face threatening act. Why? Because you attend to the addressee's face need of being accepted or of being approved of. When you say to the addressee, congratulations on your new car, again, you are using a face act because you are acting in accordance with the addressee's expectations of being accepted or of being liked or of being so accepted or liked, actually. And when you say to the addressee, how are you doing? Again, this is a face threatening, this is a face saving act. Why? Because you are meeting his interest of being liked and of being accepted. When you say to the addressee, you have a great job, or you have done a great job. This is a face threat. This is a face saving act because you are praising the adversary, and this is a comfortable speech act. Now, uh, last time I asked you about how we classify speech acts in terms of politeness, and I said that there are some positive, effective speech acts and some negatively effective speech acts. So we have positively effective speech acts and we have negatively effective speech acts. The positively effective speech acts are those which value the addressee positively, and of course, these ones are face saving acts like greeting, like agreeing, like complimenting, like congratulation. So, all of these are positively effective speech acts, and accordingly, they are face saving acts. But we have negatively effective speech acts, that is, they are speech acts which value the addressee negatively, like disagreeing, like criticizing, like insulting. What else? Like like requesting. Maybe all of these are negatively affective speech acts because they cause discomfort or embarrassment to the addressee, and they are considered as face threatening acts. Now, do you have any question about the difference between face threatening acts and face saving acts? Any question? Now, self and others. When we attempt to save another space, we can pay attention to their negative face ones or their positive face ones. So if we want to use a face saving act, we consider or we pay attention to his negative face ones or his positive face ones. Now, a person negative face ones or a person's negative face is the need to be independent, to have freedom of action, and not to be imposed on by others. Let me explain it. So we explained, we talked about face earlier. We said that face is defined as the public self-image that a person claims for himself or for herself. Now the concept of face is divided into two types. إذا حتى كلمة face هذه إلها نوعين. One of them is face, negative face, and the other is positive face. Negative face and positive face. لما بقول أنا negative ما بقصد سيء هنا. Negative يعني بمعنى الآن راح نوضحها, and positive إلها معنى آخر يعني the opposite of negative. But how? Now, negative face is defined as a person's need to be independent, or a person's need to be to have freedom of action, or a person's need not to be imposed on. Then your negative face ones are that you want to be independent. إذا أي إنسان بيحتاج يكون مستقل، وأي إنسان بيحتاج إنه يكون حر، وأي إنسان بيحتاج إنه الآخرين ما يكلفوا عليه. All of these are face needs, but they are called negative face needs. يعني ممكن إنه نفهم موضوع negative بحيث يعني مقارب للسلبية، بحيث إنه ما بدي حد يزعجني. هذا بنسميه يعني الاتجاه بالطريقة هاي نيجاتيف، ما بدي حد إنه يزيد علي مشاكل، ما بدي حد إنه يسبب لي إحراج. This is your negative face needs. يعني كل إنسان بهاي الدنيا عنده negative face needs. ما في إنسان ما عنده negative face needs. يعني بالعربي بسموها الرغبة بالاحترام. الرغبة بالاحترام طبعا بتختلف عن الرغبة بالمحبة. So الرغبة بالاحترام هي بنسميها negative face need. And every human being has negative face needs. That is to be respected, not to be imposed on, and to have freedom of action, and what to be independent in your actions. تكون مستقل وتكون حر في كلامك وما حد يكلف عليك. كل هذه بتنطبق على كل إنسان في العالم. مين ما عنده الرغبة بالاحترام؟ لا، الجميع عنده الرغبة بالاحترام. فإذا كل إنسان في العالم عنده negative face. إذا مفهوم face بينقسم إلى قسمين: negative face and positive face. In negative face you have specific needs, and in positive face you have specific needs. Now, what about positive face? And now positive face is the other way around, which is to be liked. يعني هنا ترى بنلاحظ انه صعب التوفيق بينهم. انه الانسان بالنيجاتيف فيس بحب انه الاخرين يحترموه، لكن برضه في جانب اخر من face needs, which is called a person's positive face. In positive face is the need to be accepted and the need to be liked by others, to be treated as a member of the same group, and to know that your wants are shared by others. Good. So I repeat it. What are your positive face needs? Your positive face needs are your needs to be accepted, and your needs to be liked by others, and your need to be treated as a member of the same group, and to know that your wants are shared by others. هل هاي الحاجات ما تنطبق عليك انت كسامع؟ نعم تنطبق. So every human being has positive face needs and negative face needs. Now, so in simple terms, negative face is the need to be independent, and positive face is the need to be connected. ما بنلاحظ في تناقض وصعوبة في التوفيق بينهم. One of them is to be independent, and one of them is to be connected. And actually these needs uh, um, are relevant in different contexts. الإنسان أحيانا بيبحث عن الاحترام، وأحيانا بيبحث عن الحب أو القبول من الآخرين. So when you look for being accepted by others, you are actually trying to satisfy your positive face needs. But when you are looking to be independent, you are trying to satisfy your negative face needs. And all so you have positive face needs and you have negative face needs. Therefore, a face-saving act which is oriented to the person's negative face will tend to show difference. Even any face-saving act that focuses on a person's negative face is one that shows deference and emphasizes the importance of others' time or concerns, and even include an apology for the imposition or interruption. This is negative face. Even any face saving act that is focused on a person's negative face will show deference to the addressee. Like when you say, uh, could you please open the door? Now, in this, the use of could you please in this example focuses on the addressee's negative face of being respected. مش الآخرين بيحبوا يكونوا مستقلين ويعني بيحبوا الاحترام، فلما انت بتقول لهذا الشخص could you please open the door انت راعيت حاجاته بالاحترام لانك ما كلفت عليه، اعطيته الخيار whether to accept or to refuse to open the door. And when you apologize for imposition or for interruption, you are again using a negative face or you are using a face saving act that focuses on the addressee's negative face. لما تقول للآخر sorry to interrupt you, but can I ask you to help me in this part? Now, in this example, the apology that the speaker has used focuses on the addressee's negative face or on the addressee's yes, need of being independent and of being respected. Now we have positive face. A face-saving act which is concerned with the person's positive face will tend to show solidarity and will emphasize that both speakers want the same thing and that they have a common goal. This is called positive politeness. Now, when you use utterances that establish solidarity with the addressee, like congratulations, like compliments, like what agreeing, then you are using a face saving act that focuses on the addressee's positive face needs. You are actually using positive politeness. And when you say something that emphasizes that the speaker and the hearer have the same goal and have the same interests, then the speaker is using a face saving act that focuses on positive face needs. And this is positive politeness. إذا لما أنت بتقول لما أي طالب فيكم بتقول لصديقتها you look nice today, you are actually using or the speaker is using what a positive or the speaker is emphasizing the addressee's positive face needs, and in this way the speaker is using positive politeness. Now, ولكن إذا هذه نفس المتكلم قالت لصديقتها could you please help me in this question? Now the speaker is attending to the addressee's negative face needs because she is using a face saving act that focuses on the addressee's need of being independent, on the addressee's need of being respected, and therefore the speaker is using negative politeness. Now, do you have any question about the difference between positive face and negative face, or the difference between positive politeness and negative politeness?
دكتور ممكن تعطينا أمثلة أكثر على self and other؟
اوكي، ما هي self and other لسه ما بدأناش فيها السلايد، بس احنا اللي حكيناه عن positive face needs and negative face needs. Do you understand them?
Yes دكتور.
اوكي، اما لكن هذه self and others لسه ما بدأنا فيها. اوكي، انت الآن فاهمي يعني شو الفرق بين positive face and negative face؟
Yes دكتور.
أنا بحب أسمع الفرق من الطلاب مشان أتأكد يعني that they understand.
Positive face that we keep the respect for the person who we are speak with.
Yes, this is negative face. تفضلي. في إشي في الصوت؟ مش سامع أنا. سامعين أنتوا؟ يبدو في مشكلة بالصوت لأنه بطل حد يتواصل معي.
لا
سامعين
لا
صوتك دكتور، سامعين
سامعين؟
سامعين.
طيب الآن مين اللي كانت تجاوب؟
بلقيس كتبت لك في عندي مشكلة بالصوت.
أيوة بلقيس كتبت في مشكلة بالصوت. طيب أنتوا الآن who wants to explain the difference between positive face and negative face? ما لازم أتأكد إنه الجميع يعني بيفهم هذا الموضوع.
دكتور النيجاتيف فيس اللي هو the addressee need respect.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is independent.
This is negative face. The addressee needs to be independent, needs to be respected. Good.
Positive connected.
The speaker needs to be connected. Then we have two types of face, negative face and positive face. In negative face, the addressee needs to be respected, needs to be independent, and needs to be free from imposition. Now, in positive face, the speaker needs to be connected, which means that he or she needs to be liked and to be approved of by others. يعني الآخرين يكونوا يحبوه ويشاركوه اهتماماته. Now, أو يشاركوه اهتماماته. Now, so which utterances attend to the addressee's negative face? كل الكلام اللي بترك احترام أو بترك مساحة خيار للسامع هو بنسميه negative face. لما أنت تستخدم indirect language like I wonder if you could help me, or could you please help me, or I apologize, I am so sorry to ask you to do so and so. All of these are negative face utterances. So the utterances attend to the addressee's negative face. But what are the positive face utterances? The positive face utterances are those utterances which focus on the addressees need to be accepted. انت لما بتقول لشخص you look nice today, you are actually attend to his or to her need of being liked. مش كل انسان بيحب انه الاخرين يحبوه. فانت لما بتقول لشخص you look nice today انت عبرت له عن محبة وعن مودة وقدمت له يعني عرض صداقة. When you say to a friend you look nice today, you are actually trying to maintain or to establish friendship with the addressee. This is positive face. And when you say to the addressee, okay, I agree with you, what you say is correct, it is right, I really like it. Now, in this way, you are actually attending to the addressee's what? Positive face need of being liked. When you say to the addressee, uh, when you say to the addressee, you, hey Ahmed, instead of saying Mr. Ahmed. Now, actually, in this way, you are attending to the addressee's positive face need of being liked. لأن استخدام الاسم المباشر عادة بيكون عاطفي أكثر من استخدام negative face expressions like Mr. or Doctor or whatever. And when you say to someone, let's go on a picnic. Now, in this example, you are attending to the addressee's positive face. How? Because when you say let us, the use of the pronoun us or the use of an inclusive we in this example is an example of attending to the addressee's positive face needs. And when you use an indirect or when you use informal language in communicating with your friend, you are attending to his positive face needs. مهم جدا عندنا انه تفهموا الفارق between positive face and negative face، واللي هو نفس الشيء احنا في يعني لما اللي بيفهم شو ما الفرق بين positive face and negative face بيفهم الفرق between positive politeness and negative politeness. بعيد السؤال اللي سألته في البداية، is negative politeness bad؟
No, it's
No,
not
it
bad.
is not bad, it is good. لكن هو الفرق كلهم أنواع تأدب، لكن الفرق بالاتجاه. يعني نيجاتيف بيميل ناحية الاستقلالية، بوزيتيف بيميل ناحية التطوع. ما احنا بلغتنا اليومية أحيانا بنقول والله يا فلان خليك بوزيتيف ما تكون نيجاتيف. كيف شو معناتها ما تخليك بوزيتيف ما تكون نيجاتيف؟ يعني خليك إيجابي بمعنى بادر، اظهر حب، اظهر مودة، اظهر مبادرة. لكن خليك ما تكون سلبي بمعنى يعني ما تكون محايد في كل الوقت، انك ما تخطئ. يعني الانسان السلبي هو اللي ما بيخطئش على الاخرين وبحب يكون مستقل، لكن ما بحبش انه الاخرين يخطئوا عليه. هو بيكون مثل اللي يعني الانسان اللي بحاله هذا احنا بنعتبره مؤدب، لأنه إيش تارك نفسه لوحده، ما بيعتدي على الآخرين وما بحب الآخرين يعتدوا عليه. إذا هذا مفهوم نيجاتيف اللي بدي إياكم يعني تكونوا حريصين على فهمه. كلمة نيجاتيف أحيانا بيكون معناها سلبي، يعني قصدي سيء. أحيانا بيكون معناها مثل هنا، هذا مثل المثال بعطيكم إياه، نيجاتيف بولايتنس هو جيد لكن مستقل. إذا النيجاتيف إلها معنيين، bad or independent. فلما بتحدث عن negative face I talk about independence، عن الاستقلالية والاحترام. لكن في كثير من الأحيان ممكن أستخدم كلمة negative بمعنى bad، مثل لما بقول negatively effective speech act يعني بيكون تأثيره سيء. لما بقول negatively effective speech act For example, disagreeing شو بيعتبروه الباحثين negatively affective speech act لأنه له تأثير سيء على الآخرين. لكن agreeing is a positively affective speech act. Why? Because it has a good effect on the addressee. Now, do you have any question? Okay, let's go to self and other. Say nothing. Self and other, say nothing. One way to see the relevance of the relationship between these politeness concepts and language use is to take a single speech event and map out the different interpretations associated with different possible expressions used within that event. Let me give you that example. For example, you arrive at an important lecture, uh, pull out your notebook to take notes, but you discover that you don't have anything to write with. You think that the person sitting next to you may provide the solution. In this scenario, you are going to be self, and the person next to you is going to be other. إذا بعيد الموقف مشان نفهم the difference between self and other. يعني you arrive at an important lecture and you pull out your notebook to take notes, but you discover that you don't have anything to write with, you don't have your pen with you. You think that the person sitting next to you may provide the solution, that you think that the person who is next to you will give you a pen or will help in solving the problem. Now, in this scenario, you are going to be yourself, and the addressee who is sitting next to you is the other. How do we act in this situation? Now, you have different choices. أنت الآن منعود لك بمعنى السلف وهو الآخر. أنت نفسك هو شخص آخر. Now, what's your first choice? I will talk about your choices in the second session. Let us wait until this session ends. الآن بنتهي بس دقيقة وبعدين بتدخلوا مرة ثانية نحكي الخيارات اللي أمامنا.